All right. So today's episode, what are we talking about?
Today, we are going to recap our experience at the IECSC, which took us, I don't even know if we still got it. The whole time we were at this beauty show in Vegas, we could not get the name of the show down.
Right. So it's like International Aesthetics Convention, Cosmetic.
International Aesthetics Cosmetics IEC.
Let's Google it.
Yeah.
Now I just need to know for our viewers.
International Aesthetics
Excuse me, International Aesthetics, Cosmetics, and Spa Conference.
It's a mouthful. I feel like they maybe could have workshopped that a little bit better. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because it also shares a trade show or a convention space at the Vegas Convention Center with the beauty
International Beauty Show,
which is just IBS. So whoever was in charge of naming this show, I feel should be talked to by HR perhaps. It's a lot.
Right. It's a rebranding opportunity.
But we have a full breakdown or full recap of our time there, what we saw, what education we participated in, what we bought, how we dressed, where we stayed, all the things.
And how you could do it next year.
I guess we can start out by saying Erica had attended this show before. I had never been. I'd actually never been to a trade show or a beauty show or a convention in any way for aesthetics. I have said on the podcast before, my husband does hair, so I've actually been to a hair show before in Vegas, but I haven't been for myself in my own business as a waxer esthetician. And it was really cool. I thought that it was amazing. And we'll talk later about all of the, the reasons why we would recommend being a part of them for networking, for exposure, for education, etc. But I was pretty impressed. It was one that I would go back to.
Right. So, I would say that honestly, in contrast to the last time I attended, God, I don't want to be negative to start off the episode, but I think there was a little bit less vendors this year. The showroom looked a little bit sparse. I remember the last time I went, like Amika was there, like a lot of really big brands that were not there this year, which is fine. I get it. You can't do it every year for, certain strategies, but there was that aspect to it. This year, it was on June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. So some things to note is that it's in Las Vegas and it's hot as balls. So do be prepared for that. We met a ton of girls from other states and they were like dying. Like it was so hot. So keep that in mind. It is indoors. It's an amazing convention center, super huge. I want to talk about that little lift experience.
I know. I felt... Yeah, that was why.
We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll process that. But there's a lot of cool features at this convention center.
Now, this show in particular, it's the only time they do it every year, right? Is in Vegas, or there's another opportunity to go?
I think they have, they host it internationally. There's other locations and whatnot. I will get those facts while we're chatting through.
Find out.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Erica and I are in Phoenix, Arizona, so Vegas is right next door. So that was just like a hop, skip, and a jump away for us. We discussed perhaps just driving, but why drive when flights are so inexpensive? So we flew. The show runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day, every day. We bought our tickets for like the full pass, whatever. That was the 3-day show. We met girls there that just did a 1-day ticket. You can buy a ticket just for Friday, just for Saturday, just for Sunday, or you could buy a ticket for all 3 days, or you could buy a ticket that's the hair show and the aesthetics portion, which is like an all access pass. And then the way that they do their pricing structure, the tickets are cheaper if you purchase, I think it's before June 1st. Now, dates and pricing, I'm sure will vary in the coming year as all things become more expensive and change. But it was that you could buy your ticket 1 day, 3-day, or the joint pass to go to both sides because you wear a badge and then they check your badge. It's not like a free for all. It's split down the middle of aesthetics on one side and hair on the other. And within the pass, it was cheaper if you purchased it ahead of time. They also offer a ton of free education and they offer paid for classes.
Right.
So they also have a pricing in their pricing tier and breakdown where you could buy like the pass that you get it all. You can go to as many classes as you want, paid for or not. Or you could buy your classes a la carte. So buy your ticket to the show, and then you're like, but I only want to see this anal bleaching class. So I'll just purchase that. So keep in mind in the future, if you decide that you'd like to be a part of the show, do your research, see the full breakdown of the class itinerary, map it out. Like for us in particular, we were willing to pay for education. We were completely fine with that. And had there been like 3 classes we wanted to see, it would have made the most sense for us to buy the pass that came with classes. There wasn't any. We were there strictly to vet the competition. We wanted to see what kind of waxing products and education was out there. We really treated this trip like market research. We were like, we're
Yes.
spies. So this, in full transparency, this is a show that we hope to be a part of in the future. So we wanted to go as consumers, spectators this year to really just get the lowdown, see if it's a show that we would be willing to invest our time, energy, money, all of that in. And we were, impressed with a lot of things and not impressed with others.
Right.
But in the pricing, back to that, to wrap that little portion of it up, we were willing to pay for education. When we looked at the paid classes, there was nothing waxing related in the breakdown of the waxing classes. So we didn't feel like that was time well spent for us. Now, if we had gone and wanted to be there as students in, trying to add on services for our personal businesses, like an anal bleaching, like a vajacials class, that would be the perfect time to take advantage of those opportunities. Again, there was nothing waxing. All of the waxing class and education that we consumed was free, luckily for us.
Right.
So,
So, wanted to circle back. Yes, there are other IECSC shows. The next ones are September 28th and 9th in Florida,
okay.
and then March 8th and 10th of next year, so 2026 in New York.
Interesting.
So it looks like there's those 3 major ones. So just wanted to clarify that. I feel like Jamie of Joe Rogan Experience. Let me just research in the
Hold on
background.
1 second.
Right. So wanted to talk about the 3 days and if it's necessary or not. We even haven't talked about this, but I feel like we could have got everything done in like the Friday, Saturday. I
Mhm.
felt by Sunday, like vendors were breaking down early.
Yeah,
it
I
kinda
didn't
died
like
down
that.
early. So I don't think the 3 days are necessary. I think all day Friday, all day Saturday was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the showroom floors, I think were open like 9:30 or 10 to 5. So, plan to be there all day and plan to be comfortable. There were some girlies and heels and stuff. I love it. Cute, but there's no way I could have been in heels like
Absolutely
all
not.
day. They're long days for sure.
Yeah, that just to speak about the breaking down early on Sunday, that really I didn't love that. Like if I had flown in and I was only attending on Sunday, I just feel like it was kind of depressing when brands were already breaking down and there was still 3 hours left of the show or 4 hours left of the show. It felt very like I didn't get my money's worth, and you could just tell the overall energy, like these vendors had been there since a lot of them Wednesday, because you have to set up all of your own booth and
Right.
stuff, and so they were tapped out. Energy was much lower. I think to if you're gonna pick a day to go, I would go the first day for sure.
Mhm.
I would go Friday and
Oh,
then
you know what? I'm misquoting the dates. It was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, we're lying
That's
to
what it
you.
was. That's what it was.
Yeah, so Monday, a lot of people had flown back, obviously, to get back to
Yes,
work.
that's what it was.
The show in general, like just the crowd was much thinner.
Yeah.
Um,
Which makes sense. It's a
which makes
Monday.
sense. I get it.
Yeah.
But
So I'm sorry, the Saturday, Sunday then
yes.
would have been the time to go.
Yeah.
We got there Saturday morning at the
Mhm.
crack of dawn. What our flight was 6:35 or something
yeah,
like
we were
that.
like one of the first flights in.
And thankfully so, because we found out later on that the flight right after us had to circle all the way back to Phoenix because they ran out of fuel.
No, the wind. It was the wind.
No, but they couldn't land because of the wind.
because they circled for 3 hours.
Yeah, they circled for 3
Yeah.
hours and had to come back to Phoenix. So if you were on that flight, so sorry. Hope you ended up making it. So that's another thing to consider is flying really early
Mhm.
because it is hotter as the day progresses.
Yeah.
And if you're flying to Phoenix or Vegas, I mean, those are factors to
Yeah.
consider.
I think, we talked about flying in on Friday.
No, Saturday.
No, Friday
Oh,
night.
we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked
Yes,
about
yes, yes,
flying in
yes.
Friday night to be there to get there, and we were both like, eh. And because we were going to stay all the way through Monday, I
Yeah.
mean, I have kids, we have jobs, other jobs, and so it was like, well, we'll just fly super early. And you like in those times where you book your flight and you're like, no big deal, first flight out. And then the flight comes and you're like, what have I done? Why am I flying out on the first flight? That was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, and
We
it's like
definitely
4
had that
a.m.
moment.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were texting each other because we got completely ready for the day at 4 a.m. Had to be at the airport by 6.
Yeah.
And then first flight in, we're flying with fake, like we looked like escorts at the airport. I'm not
100%.
even
Yeah,
going to
you're right.
sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
We look stupid as fuck because we're like full, like, who do these girls think they are?
Right. It's like lashes.
Full
Like,
glam at 5 a.m. is diabolical. I stand by that. So we show up, we've got our bags. And you know what? Also, just really quickly, nothing to do with the show, but just absolute bullshit. I have not stopped talking about this, but so we stayed at the Golden Nugget.
the check-in
We
process.
stayed,
I knew you were going
we
to talk
stayed
about it.
off the strip. And one of the things later, one of the questions that we have is like, what would you do differently? I would not stay at the Golden Nugget, and not even a knock at the Golden Nugget. Like, if you've ever been or gambled there, like, it's fine. Like, it's cheap, it's fun, it is what it is. But because it was so far enough from the convention center, we were paying $40 to $60 Ubers and Lyfts each way to get there. And we paid as much in the travel of getting
Right.
to and from the show than we would have if we had just stayed at the Blue Fountain or Fountain or whatever the fuck that hotel is called.
Right.
Which is beautiful. And that is the one directly across the street from the
Right.
convention
And there was
center.
another one. It used to be the International because Elvis used to play there. That's the only reason why I remember.
Well,
Big Elvis fan. What the
like,
fuck is it called now?
The West World or the West. It's something. Whatever. There's like something world.
Again, here I go.
It's fine. Erica's going to check it out.
Gonna check it out.
There were other options. So we were like, we don't want to spend a ton of money. Also, I had just been to Vegas in February for my birthday, and I had PTSD because I went so hard in Vegas. I thought I would never recover. And so, like, I told Erica, we were texting each other before we went to the show, like, we are not going to this trip. There is no part of this trip that we're going to a club. We're going to go to dinners. We're going to drink at our hotel bar.
Which is why I chose a hotel off the strip.
right.
I'm like,
She
okay,
did the right
logically.
thing. She did the right
I did the
thing.
right thing, guys.
But then we just didn't realize how expensive the to and from was going to be. So anyway, we decide we're going to fly in the morning of the show. We'll get ready before we go. We'll fly, we'll land. We'll go drop our stuff off at the hotel. We will freshen up at the bathroom, and then we'll get an Uber and Lyft, and we'll get straight to the show, and we will be fine. We were not fine.
We're not fine.
We were not fine. Neither of us slept the day before.
Nope.
And okay, not to make this like completely about me. Like, I had to put my dog down the day before.
Right.
And so I was like devastated. I didn't want to go to Vegas. I wanted to cancel. Rest in peace,
Frankie.
I went, but I was just like a mess. I was messy. I was tired. I was emotional.
Yeah.
I kept telling Erica, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be here for Wax Pro and the business and networking. But like, I wanted to be there like 6%.
I legit was kind of surprised we went.
I know.
I was expecting a cancellation because if you know me and Ziggy, my dog, I mean, I don't even know that I would survive
would have gone.
his death.
We went for
honestly.
Frank.
But we
We went
blacked
for
out
Frank.
for Frank.
We blacked out for Frank. So anyway, we go. But the night before, Erica calls because I'm texting her. I was like, look, we're big girls. We make enough money. We can afford one extra night at the Golden Nugget because I think our room for the whole stay was like $230 total. So
Yeah,
that
it was
split
pretty cheap.
between us. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I was like, just call them and see if we can just book Friday night. Like, let's just book Friday night so that when we get in, we have a room to go dump our shit, and then we can just like
touch up, get ready.
touch up. If we want a body shower, we can, whatever. So she calls them and they tell her no.
They're like, if you're
can't.
not checked in by midnight,
You
so like
fit your room.
I'm literally like, I will pay you money. We'll get there at like, 7:30, 8 a.m. They're like, if you're not checked in by midnight, you're a no-show.
You forfeit your room
And you forfeit your room.
without a refund.
So that was
And I'm like,
confusing. I'm
"For
like, I feel like
real?"
I could have like scammed that situation better, but I was like,
but I'm like,
okay.
put it in my notes section. It's not that hard. For real, we're the first people to ever ask to check in early. But now they do, like, you can do a paid check-in. So if you want to check in early, you can get into your room at 11, but they charge you for it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get into my room at 11 a.m. I want to get into my room at 7 a.m. So let me
Right.
book the night before. Can't do it.
Can't do it. Another thing.
My hands are tied.
Yeah. Another thing. So the actual check-in process, guys, it's driving me nuts.
And
like,
it's not even just the Golden
it's
Nugget
not,
because
no.
multiple people have said that's
and it's
everywhere
not just
on the strip.
hotels. I mean,
No.
it's everywhere you go now. It's like fucking automated computer
They just
check-in.
have kiosks. They've
And
eliminated
so-
so much of their
yeah,
staff.
Right. So mind you, there's like 3 workers standing there with like their arms behind their back, like monitoring us check into the kiosk for the hotel, right? And there was an error on our check-in. It said it was one queen bed, which I know factually I did book 2. Why would I book 1? And then, mind you, we get in the room and there are 2 fools. Like, there's no way we could have shared a full bed. Anyways,
No.
so I go up to one of the workers and I'm like, yeah, there's a issue with our reservation. Can you help us? And she's like, no.
No.
Like literally no. And I'm like,
I forgot how funny that
why
was.
are you here then?
What is your job, man?
Yeah, it was so
And
like
not that it matters, it doesn't, but she had the largest, hairiest mole on her face that I've ever seen in my life. Irrelevant fact, but super distracting.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're good people. There's definitely someone that you've pissed off that has brought that mole up to her face.
For sure. That thing surfaced.
Yeah, she was like, oh, there's nothing I can do. Once you get your room assigned, then you can wait in that line at like the bell desk, key drop, talk to that guy, and he'll help you. I'm like, why can't you just help me?
Right. Thankfully, cutie boy at the check-in, he was fabulous. I was like, look, here's the situation. No one can help us. Can we get in early and can we get 2 beds? And he was like, I got you, boo. He was like, so thankfully, you know,
he worked it out.
Flirted with our cutesy boy and he got us right in. But literally that could have like, you know, taken a turn for someone that's never been to a convention. They're trying to get their bags. They're trying to, you know, maybe they've never been to Vegas. Like for us, we travel very often. So it's like whatever, we roll with the punches. But, you know, things to think about when you're traveling post-COVID and all these kiosk situations and customer service is like non-existent.
But I would say for sure, just stay as close to the convention center as you can. Unless you plan on like really, really going out. Or if we were only going once, none of that would have mattered. But we took 2 Ubers a day for 3 days straight, and it was like they were expensive. And then the one day, here's the other thing: if you take a taxi, the taxi can drop you off directly on the steps of the convention center. If you take a ride share, they drop you off far 3.5 miles away, and then you have to take
that's the little lift situation
we
want to tell you about. Yeah,
which if you don't know what the loop is,
I literally thought I was high. I was like,
felt
what
like a fever dream.
We doing here?
Yeah.
This is freaking me out.
It was bizarre. So they drop us off, and they drop us off on the other opposite side where there's a whole nother convention happening. It was like it was a magic show. That
was it? No, I think it was like a cosplay situation.
No, it was a magic show.
It was a magic
tricks and things. And Erica was like, we both thought we put the wrong address in. We're like, excuse me, do you know? And then we saw people walking up that had the same badges as us. So she was like, do you know how to get to the IECSC IBS? And they were like, oh, you have to go through the Vegas loop. And we were like, the what? And they're like, yeah, the ride share takes you over here. Long ass walk to even get to it. Then you go down escalators into what feels like a subway station. It's all lit up purple.
Literally cannot relive it. It freaks
and they
me out.
have like little bays posted, like bays lined up with like
station 1, 2, 3,
4. And then a big sign that's like, if you're going to the Vegas Convention Center, go to this one. If you're going here, go to this one. And it takes you in tunnels under the city to where you're going and drops you off in a Tesla.
Oh, in a lift. Yeah, in a Tesla.
In a Tesla.
Lift. A Tesla.
Which I don't care. She doesn't care to be packed in with other people. But the 2 other girls that they put in our car had masks on and were very germaphobe. So they were like very clearly uncomfortable that they were with strangers in a car.
Right. I was smoking a cigarette. No, I'm just kidding.
You want some?
Kids.
No, we were fine. But it was like we were joking and the guy couldn't like get his Tesla to turn on or whatever. I mean, it was like a whole thing. It was just funny. And then it drops you off. And then it was still a little bit of a walk, not as far.
Yeah, but at the convention center. Yeah. So another consideration, you know, is if you're taking a lift, you might have to go into the loop. And I do not recommend being on any sort of drugs when you do that because it was a trip sober. Let's talk about what we wore.
Well, we posted pictures. If you follow us, you saw probably what we wore. We went really cute one day. I was wearing like baggy. The most recent photo shoot that we did for Waxpad, we wore our outfits again, in those, but like very business casual. I was like, can I show these shoes? I wore these shoes every day. They were very comfortable. Adidas, shout out. But like jeans, casual, full glam face, obviously, a really structured top with a loose baggy denim. I forget what you wore day one.
Day one. Oh, I wore my little like polo
Oh, and your
Like,
arms chafed all day.
yeah, because okay, mind you, this polo was like polyester, some bullshit. And so, like, literally, this part of my underarm was like
Raw,
rubbing against.
bleeding.
Yeah.
You looked
So
cute though.
it
It's
was
just a
cute.
part of the
It was
game.
like black slacks with that little
Yeah.
cut off polo and my chucks. And then next day we did like basically super cute.
I don't remember what I
The
wore.
reason why I'm even bringing this up is not to be braggy, but you're at a beauty show. And I personally hate being underdressed or overdressed.
Mhm.
So, just dress to your liking, but be comfortable. But there's certainly some people that are like over the top, and then there's some people more cash. You basically can wear whatever you want. But we also
Comfortable shoes though. There's a ton. If you're gonna walk
comfortable
the
shoes for
showroom
sure.
floor, I mean, it's massive.
Right. Consider this though. This is like a social media opportunity when you go to these conventions. So like
Yeah,
obviously, we
the
captured a
content.
lot of content, so that's why we were pretty mindful about our outfits and whatnot. I also want to shout out Sherry. She was
Our
our
bartender.
bartender. So they
There
do
are
have a
drinks
bar.
available.
Yeah, they have a bar at the showroom floor. A couple of bars, but Sherry, you for some reason
Sherry, are
see
you
this.
watching this? We
Yeah,
miss you.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's funny. The last day Sherry wasn't there, they replaced her with like some
Guy.
older, like Cuban man, and we
Yeah.
were like, "Where's Sherry?
What have you done with
What
Sherry?
did you do with Sherry?" And he's like, "I don't know, man. I just got here."
Right.
We're like, "Okay, he's not fucking with us.
Yeah.
All right."
We're
We
not
thought we
coming
were
back.
so funny,
Yeah.
but whatever.
So, also noteworthy of the showroom floor is there's some pushy motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, it felt like buying a car.
Rachel, sorry to throw you into the bus, but she was a victim
Yeah.
the whole
I
fucking
was like,
weekend.
wait, Erica, he said he could change my life with blah, 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 blah.
Right. No one would talk to me just because I have, I think, RBF. I don't know. Maybe it's.
Well, they're just really like, I have a really hard time saying no, as we
See,
saw.
I don't make eye contact with people because I don't like to be sold to. I want to buy, but like what I want to buy.
Oh, they could smell me coming
Yeah,
from a
they
mile
could.
away.
So, my whole tip is be ready to buy or deny, baby.
Buy or deny, yeah.
Got to be ready for either or. Lots of buying. More purchases than we thought we would make.
It's funny because like I am a spendy bitch. Like I love to shop. I love merch. I like to spend money.
Mhm.
And it did not even cross my mind at any point when we talked about Vegas that like I would spend money at the show. And I said that to my husband and he was like, like he thought I was kidding. And I was like, no, I really was all Wax Pro. Like we're there for education. We're there to network. Like it did not even dawn on me that I would spend money in the showroom.
Yeah.
And I really didn't spend that much money. I almost did.
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of stuff like the very first booth, and this one like stands out immediately. We like started from the left and we moved our way right, and we just like bobbed and weaved up and down the whole thing. We saw it all. But the first guy was selling us a spray foam wax, a heatless wax that looks like it's in a hairspray can.
It's
Grabs
more
my
like a
arm.
moose, wouldn't you say?
A mousse. That's a perfect description. It
Yeah.
sucked. We didn't buy it.
So bad.
But then they do the like, here's the show price. And I hate that. Like, just tell me what it is.
they
Have it
literally
very
grabbed Rachel's arm
Yeah.
though. They didn't give her a chance. They're just like,
I should, yeah. And it was terrible. It was sticky. It was gross. Didn't really remove the hair. It hurt. And he's like, well, our show price is you can buy 2 cans and you get 2 cans free. And I'm down to 4 cans. You want my last 4 cans? And you're like, no,
really?
I don't
Down to
even
your
like
last
it.
4.
No, we'll be back. We'll be back. But there was a lot of that. We saw a ton. Now there's like live demonstrations happening on the showroom floor. There's live facials happening. There's live classes. There's people pulling you to curl your hair, to apply your makeup, to give you a massage, to try this electrolysis
Yeah.
muscle thing. Like there's all sorts of demos happening. And then there's the people that are just like, their offerings are there. They're giving out free samples. They have totes and business cards and
Right.
all sorts of stuff. So it's fun to walk and do. Like you don't need to walk that more than one time.
Right.
Like if because again, we were there for Wax Pro and we were there for education, but we would get through like walk up and down aisle A, aisle B, and then we needed to get to a class. So then we would dip and then we would come back and pick up on the aisle C. And like we never walked it in completion even one time. We would just like hit a couple rows, then hit the next. So like you could spend half a day just walking the showroom floor
For sure.
and then just do classes. But because we were there for classes, we were in a time constraint. Now, as far as the class schedule goes of what's the free education, it's all mapped out on this really cool board. And they do a lot of the classes multiple days. So like you can build, their app was super user friendly. You can add all the classes or education that you would like to see to your itinerary, and then it'll tell you what's overlapping. So like if you wanted to see Hard Wax 101 at 10 a.m., and there's also anal bleaching at 10 a.m., they would do anal bleaching the next day at 2 p.m. So like they tried to stagger the classes so that you could see everything that you wanted to. I think there was only one, the anal bleaching. I just keep talking about anal bleaching. That was the only one that I was like, I really want to see this. And it didn't work out because it was always at a time, all 3 days that we just, it didn't work for us, but
Right. Right.
that's okay.
Circling back, the other hotel that is near the convention center that I was thinking about is the Westgate, is what it's
The
called.
Westgate.
The
I said
Westgate. So
Westworld.
Blue
Fountain.
Fontaine. Fontania.
Which our friend Lauren, who was on was on season 1, episode 2. I don't know. Stripped. Lauren from Stripped. She was there, which we can talk about her later, and because she was on the retail side. She went with another brand, Enzo Wax. And she was there as a retailer behind a booth. And so she got a completely different experience than we did as consumers and viewers. But that's where they stayed, and they said that it was beautiful, well worth it for the price to be right there, that it was great. And that's where I would like to stay next year.
Yeah, same.
So
for the grand finale, let's talk about the actual waxing education and why we went there. So we did attend, I want to say at least 6.
Oh, I think it was like 8.
8. Like 8 different waxing specific classes. So, there's some that were good, some mid, some frankly I thought were just not great. And that's not to be negative, but I'd be doing a disservice by just, skipping over the fact that there was definitely some eye-opening moments. Yeah, for sure. So we did a survey, and I have the stats right in front of me. All of our followers on Instagram, we asked them in a poll how you rated the education at the IECSC, and there was like over 40 people that voted. 51% said amazing, 32% said mid, and 16% were disappointed. So just want to give you some stats so it's not just coming from us. And so I just kind of want to break down,
Well, I would like to say I didn't vote, but if I did, I would have been part of the disappointed. I was super disappointed.
I was too.
And when we talked about doing this breakdown or recap of the show, I was like, I don't want to come on and bash certain wax brands, bash educators. Obviously, it takes a lot to get up there, to be invited to do it, to get, out in front of young adult women, because we saw like 99% women. But I was really disappointed in what we saw, the level of professionalism. And again, we won't name names of exactly who said or did what.
Yeah.
But the actual skill level, I was really shocked by. And the sanitation control 100% was like,
that blew my wig back. Yeah. That
didn't exist. And then just like the logistics of how the trainings were put on, so you go to they're not showrooms, they're like
breakout rooms,
but they're super high ceilings, and they all have these humongous projectors coming down. They're all equipped for a sound system
and cameras
and great lighting, and none of them took advantage of that. Now, Erica talked to one of the vendors or class educators that
she was a vendor and also did some class education. She was the only one that had it
together.
And so I asked her, logistics. Again, no one knew we were there really kind of shopping around, right? So she volunteered to me that her family member put that all together, not the convention. So I will say,
I mean, like, put that all together, meaning she was projecting up on the projector, so they had their own video setup,
camera, like
she
aerial
was mic'd
view.
Up, and then they dimmed the lights.
Right.
And so, just for reference for everybody else, we walk in, there's probably 75 seats set up, and everybody takes a seat, and then they have a wax bed set up, and then they start doing a demonstration, and you're 15 rows back. You can't see anything, and you can't hear half of them.
Right.
And so only by like the third demonstration did any one of the educators say, feel free to come up and gather around the table.
But then even then, it's like literally 75 people all trying to look
going
over
like
each
this, watching something you can't see.
So thanks for the visual for the people that weren't there. That was all in my head. But there was only one that actually had the aerial camera view and the mics and everything like that. So in saying that, if you're ever going to be presenting there, or honestly anywhere, if you're ever presenting, like, really think about the audience, think about the logistics
Of like the
of
consumer
everything.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The student experience.
Because there were people that got you couldn't see anything, so girls would just stand up and walk out. If you weren't in the first, second, or third row,
Mhm.
people were leaving. And one of the educators, when she's like, "Bye, thanks for coming," because someone walked out of her class when it
Right.
started, I was like, "God,
Right.
I
Right.
hated that. That
You
was
can
so
also
rude."
tell a few of these, and it's no shade, this is facts. I personally am very aware of presentation
Mhm.
skills, of filler words, of volume, of body language, because I do this literally for, my other side stuff. So I'm no pro. What I'm saying is I'm constantly looking. So because I'm a student, I want to learn how to present better and project my voice. I can tell, I'm going to say 90% of the educators, it was probably their first, second, maybe third time ever presenting in front of a crowd because there was lack of engagement. And again, like the projection of their voice, their body language,
Yeah,
it
the
was not
demeanor.
exciting. So
Yeah,
again,
and like
no
why
shade. It's just
you could hear a
facts.
freaking pin drop, the energy level, like make it fun. Look it out at the crowd. Look who's in your class. It's all or most girls that are under 40.
Right.
And all of the educators, I hate to say, were pretty old school. And it was my way or the highway. And they
Right.
were
There was no
not,
logic. It was like,
yeah,
it was ego training.
it was
That's
ego
what I
training.
saw.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is what I
What I've
do
done
because,
forever.
yeah.
Well, why do you do it that way? Erica, every single class that we went into, she asked questions through the whole thing to the point where I was like, please don't. I don't
She
have it
gets
in me
embarrassed.
anymore. I know, but she was just like, why are you why are you doing X, Y, and Z? They couldn't answer her questions. Or if you are not an educator who can work and answer, then don't. Then just say, we're gonna hold all questions till the end. But the like
Right.
half-ass crazy answers were just, I don't know. I didn't see much value in what they had to say,
For
which
me,
is so bad to say.
this is what I'll end with personally is I
I'm
was
not done.
more disappointed in that this is what we're teaching new estheticians or maybe estheticians that don't have experience in that modality in waxing. So they're leaving this conference with improper technique, absolutely no awareness of hygiene, sanitation protocols, absolutely no science behind what they're doing. It's just do it this way because this is what I do and this is what made me successful. Great. I love to hear that you're successful, but can you explain the why? So I was more irked from like an educator standpoint that now these people are leaving probably worse off because now they're going to have bad habits
Mhm,
that frankly wouldn't be there if they would not have seen that or heard
mhm,
that. So
mhm.
that's what got me pretty
Yeah,
good.
the sanitation for sure was crazy. Like it didn't exist. They weren't sanitizing between. They were taking multiple models and not wiping a single thing down, not changing the gloves. Halfway through one of them, she took her gloves off, admits to the group her hands are sweaty,
Right.
dries them like this, and then pumps aftercare in her hands and wipes them on this man's bare asshole for the manzillion class. Like, we were like,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Oh my
And mind
God.
you, I'm actually that wasn't my last thing.
I know it's not.
I
I'm not
have something.
done.
You just triggered me. I was trying to black out the manzillion, but as we've talked about in previous episodes, that's like the majority of my clients is males. So I do male Brazilians and frankly, I treat all of my clients with respect. They are human beings. They're also very vulnerable and embarrassed and oh my gosh, I hope I don't get erect. Like there's so many things that are going through their
Mhm.
heads. So I'm very mindful of, my clients and their experience. Now, in saying that, I saw the complete opposite in that training. And I was just really disappointed how honestly I've never ever seen this happen where the male was just an object. Like the
I felt like
way
she was mocking him the whole
I
time.
think
The level
so.
of professionalism was
Right. She was just like, this doesn't hurt, moving anatomy and just being like, they don't care and just yanking on stuff. And my clients would be mortified if I treated them in that fashion. I mean, they're people too. Just because they're guys with a penis doesn't mean that You could
people
just
too.
pull their balls around. Like
She
it
like,
was
trying to
very
no, it was odd.
bizarre.
It was very yeah. I mean, and she had a few nuggets of wisdom that I appreciated, like you control the energy or you tell the narrative in your room. It's not sexual unless you make it sexual, etc. But when she's like, I have young girls who ask, what if they get hard? And she's like, so what? So what if they get hard? It's only weird if you make it weird. I'm like, that is not how you handle this
Right.
situation in a room full of young adult women. That needed to be handled with more care. You would say, if something makes you uncomfortable, you should have protocols in place for how to handle X, Y,
Right.
and Z. Perhaps use a towel. Like just the putting it back on the young, probably service provider of like, it's not a big deal. Don't make it a big deal.
Right.
Like, oh,
You got to
yeah.
know your audience and read the room.
Mhm.
In saying that, we do have our male anatomy waxing course coming out really soon. And we cover in the most professional manner how to perform this service. And not just with ego or just because they're a guy, treat them like this. And, you know, just all the weird stuff we heard in a professional manner, how to protect yourself, how to be safe, how to give a good service, how to protect your client, what to do if there is something really strange. So there's tips and tricks around all of that. And of course, the technique, which is completely different than female anatomy.
Mhm.
So look out for that if you're interested in that course, that style of training. We're happy to support you in proper education.
Now, in terms of the show, this is something that we hope to be a part of in the future. We wanted to go to see, I mean, I said the competition, but just really what else was out there in terms of continuing education, training products, and just wax training in general. And so, look out for Wax Pro
Look out for Wax Pro.
at a show near you, or I guess it's Florida, New York, or Phoenix,
Right.
or
Right.
Vegas.
Right. Also kind of misleading. International, I only
Yes.
saw here domestically, but I don't know. Maybe they do it in other countries. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But I think just shows in general, like it was fun. I would go to another one. Lauren, again, that we talked about, that was there on the retail side with another wax brand. She was telling us how she had also attended the show. You and her were kind of chatting, and it was my first time there, so I just thought it was like so grand and so great, and it was huge. And she's like, "This is not as big as it used
No.
to be. Like it really scaled back." And she was disappointed that a lot of the big name brands have since pulled out. And it feels like there's a lot of smaller brands involved. And it just seems to be getting smaller every year because the crowd, I guess the industry standard is more lax. You don't have to have a license to attend. And so they felt
Mm.
like there was a ton of just like people there for the freebies, that would come up with a tote and just ask, what free samples do you have? They had
No.
every single wax brand or company's booth, they had multiple wax pots set up with their wax that you could demo on your arm. And Lauren was like, it was probably 80%, I'm probably misquoting the percentage, but very high, of girls that came up that didn't even know how to lay a strip on their arm that would play with the wax. And so she's like, right off the bat, it was an indicator of like, you're not a professional, you're not licensed, you're just here for the freebie stuff. And so she's like, that's a huge turnoff for, it's a lot of money to be a part of the show. I
For sure.
mean, to do the actual rental of the booth, you are in charge of pretty much all of your own setup and breakdown. You've got to
Oh,
come days in
and
advance and stay
something
late.
I found out is that you cannot roll carts or
Oh,
anything
I
through
saw
the
that.
show floor.
There's no dollies.
So, I mean, you think you're just paying, let's say, $3,000 for a booth, but then you're paying for shipping all your stuff there.
If you can't drive
If
it.
you can't drive it, you have to pay for obviously room and board and food and all the things that come with travel,
Mhm.
and then pay someone to move all your stuff if you don't have a crew, like a family crew or someone
A
that is just
husband, a
going to help
boyfriend,
you.
a friend,
Right.
a best friend, a business
Right.
partner.
So this, I would say, is probably a $10,000 investment all in. I'm gonna round.
And so if you're not making sales there and people are just there for the free stuff, I could get why
Right.
a brand would pull out.
Right. Also, like just thinking about the economy and where we're at and tariffs and a lot of these products coming in from China, obviously things are going to change, I
Mhm.
think, dramatically. So the good thing is that at least the format's there, even if it did get smaller, hopefully the quality would be higher next year we go. And now we know truly what's missing there, what we could bring to the table, literally, and how to just be better networking, ambassadors next year we're there
Mhm.
because we did have a lot of people stop us and say, "Ooh, we love your hats." So that was kind of our soft launch of the hats. And so we realized, wow, this is a really great networking opportunity. So if you want to rep your salon or your brand, that's a great place to do it. Making sure you come prepared with your business cards, um, or those dot cards or whatever you're using to network, the little phones kissing and sharing information. I don't know. I'm a millennial. This is all new to me. So I love a business card. I'm a sucker for a business
I know.
card. But yeah, great opportunity to network. And I would say all in all, we'd be back for sure. As Rachel kind of insinuated, we'd love to be a part of it next year as a vendor educator, more importantly. But we'd love to know from you guys what you liked about the IECSC, if you went, and if you didn't go, will you go next year?
Let us know.
Well, that wraps up
Season
season
3,
3, episode
episode
1.
1. Oh.
Should we do that again?
Yes.